Hello, welcome to the May online card class using the gorgeously made stamp set from Stampin' Up, along with the Masterfully Made pattern paper. I think you guys are going to love these cards for tonight's online card class. If you are here and watching me live, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know that you're watching live. Let me know where you're watching from, and remind me if you registered for the class and if you're stamping along with me this evening. I know I have a lot of people registered this month, so hopefully we get a lot of you tuning in who are stamping along tonight. If you are watching the replay, special welcome to you as well. I'm so glad that you are here. Leave me a comment. Let me know that you watched the replay. I love knowing that people have come back later to watch the replay as well. Hello, Arlene in New Zealand. Welcome. So, hello, Fonda in North Carolina. All right. If you are here for the first time tonight, welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and this is my craft corner. I provide card making tips, tricks, and inspiration to help wannabe crafters like you create beautiful handmade cards and gifts. So I'm really excited that you're here tonight. If this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you always know when I am going live. Oh my goodness, all my friends are showing up. Hello, Teresa from Wisconsin, and Janet in Nebraska, and Peggy, who got the kit and is stamping along, and Joe, and Kathleen, and our Facebook user in Muskegon, and Ida, and oh my goodness, just all sorts of people tonight. All right, let me go ahead and make my workspace a little bit bigger so we can dive right into this. So here is that gorgeously made stamp set, which I think is so much fun that we're going to be using tonight. And then the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper. Now, this is a 12 by 12 paper, but I cut it down to 6 by 6. And if you got the card kit, you got a 6 by 6 sample of all of it in the card kit. And it is in these gorgeous colors, and it has all these flowers and like just this painted and ripped, torn look. I just think it's so, so pretty. So if you're crafting along with us tonight, hello, Cheryl in St. Louis, and Randy, welcome. All right, if you're crafting along with me tonight, go ahead and find the piece that looks like this. So it's like fresh freesia on the top and bottom, and it has all this ripped looking cardstock in the center. Go ahead and grab that one. We're going to start with this piece. Joe, I am feeling better. Thank you. All right, Dana, you're trying to stamp along. Awesome. So we're going to start by cutting this down to the size we need. So we're going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5 inch. So I'm going to start by cutting at 3 3/4. And then I think I'm going to take 5. Well, that's going to be a little bit. I actually think I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the bottom and a 1/2 inch off the top. So there we go. 3 3/4 by 5 inch for that piece. Heather, you're going to try to stamp along. Awesome. All right. So this piece that I just cut is 3 3/4 by 5 inch. Now we are starting, if you have your card packs, we're going to start with card number 3. It's number 1 in the tutorial, but it's card number 3 in your envelopes, because I wasn't thinking when I made the envelopes. I changed my mind. So in here, you have a little piece of basic white that I cut with the gorgeously made dies. And you have a piece of berry burst that I also cut one end with the gorgeously made dies. And you have this really fun leaf piece cut from fresh freesia with the gorgeously made dies. Laura, it is not, but that's okay. You still come through, it just says Facebook user. It's not really a big deal. Hello, Heidi, you're stamping along. Great. You have a piece of basic white for the inside that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and a piece of berry burst for the front, and then a piece of fresh freesia for the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by layering this piece of designer series paper that we just cut 3 3/4 by 5 inches. We're just going to put this on our berry burst. This card is so, so easy. So it just goes right on our berry burst, and then we're going to go ahead and just put that on our card front. I love the way the designer series paper in these cards just like does all the heavy lifting. So, all right. So this is just going to pop right in the front, on the front of our card base. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And I missed getting it centered a little bit. Let's push, push. Whew. This is why I use green glue, because you can move it a little bit if you didn't get it right where you want it, or it's crooked. All right, there we go. Now, on your piece of berry burst, one side I cut with the gorgeously made dies. On the other side, we're just going to rip it. We're just going to rip it a little bit. Try to keep your fingers close together when you're ripping. That's going to help you kind of rip in a straight line, although I did intentionally kind of make this a little bit jagged. And this is going to go on the card front right here. And then we're going to put this leaf on there. So I'm just kind of laying it out, seeing where I want it. So I'm just going to adhere this piece of berry burst right here on the front. Try to get it straight. Now, on your die cut leaf here, what I did is I actually put an adhesive sheet on the back. So this is going to be super easy for you. If it's like mine, you may have some pieces that you need to kind of punch out. They like to stick in there, but they should punch out pretty easily. So I'm just coming in and popping those right out. You can use take your pick tool, or I'm just using my finger. And if they don't come out, just leave them. Right, that one came out, but not the backing. All right. And then you can find the backing and pull the back off. And that's going to make it sticky. It's going to be sticky under there. So then we can just stick it down instead of trying to use the liquid glue to put it down. Makes it so much easier. There we go. So then just figure out where you want it and just pop that down. Isn't that fun? Oh, all right, I'm going to clean my trash. Not my piece of basic white, though, because that's what we're going to stamp the sentiment on. In your packet, you also have a piece of silver threaded twine. We're going to go ahead and just rip one strand out. This is a bonus piece I have laying on my desk. So I'm just going to rip out one strand, and we're going to just tie a bow in this. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for y'all. So I'm just tying a bow in that strand of silver threaded twine. And then I can just cut the end. We'll save that for later. I'm going to even these up. There we go. And then this is going to get put on my card front with a little mini glue dot. So I'm just pull out my mini glue dots, push that into one dot, pick it up. That should bring the dot along with it. And then I'm just going to pop this over. Actually, I'm going to put it the other way. And make it more like my sample. We're going to go this way. Oops. So I'm just turning my bow like that. All right. Now you should have this little piece of basic white that I cut with the gorgeously made dies. And I'm going to grab my stamp that says thank you and my pebbled path. Now, if you don't have pebbled path, you can use a different ink instead. I'm going to grab pebbled path. I'm just going to ink up that thank you and stamp that right on that little strip. And then we can just put this with some dimensionals over our little piece of twine. I'm down to like the end of my dimensionals. So I'm going to snip the sides so I can use all of those good dimension pieces, because I go through dimensionals like crazy. I don't know about you. All right. So I just snipped those all at once so they're all ready to go. And I'm just going to put one on both sides because that the knot in my bow is going to be in the center. So we're just going to put it on both sides. Oops, that one went over a little bit. I'm just going to cut it. I got sloppy with my dimensionals. And then that just goes right over that bow. So it just says thank you. And then also in your packs, you have some of the self-adhesive trio, I think is what they're called. Self-adhesive sequin trio. I don't know, something like that. We're going to grab those and we're going to use the pink ones on this. I think these are bubble bath. I'm going with that. I don't know what it says in the catalog, but I'm going with their bubble bath. Let's put one there. I'm going to kind of slide one in underneath a little bit here. And then I'm going to grab a little one. There we go. Super quick and easy. What do you think? There's card number 1. My camera is really low tonight. I'm going to try moving it up just a little bit. Let's see if that helps. So there we go. Card number 1. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you're keeping up. Because now we're going to work on the fun fold. Oh, you should have a piece of basic white too. This just goes on the inside. You can stamp an additional sentiment on there if you want. I'm just going to leave it blank, I think. And of course, you can always stamp your envelope as well. So there we go. Whew. Let me know how you're doing. I'm going to just take a drink here. A little LaCroix. I'm going to clean off my stamp. I only use one stamp, so I don't got a ton of cleaning to do. So, Sue, you're a little behind. All right. Hopefully you can catch up. If you have to, you can just watch and then do the cards later too. So, because you can always rewatch the replay and watch how to make them again too. So there we go. But this next part you are definitely going to want to watch because this gets a little tricky. Although yours is already cut for you. So this next part I'm going to do, but if you got the card kit, it's already done for you. How long does the cleaning pad last? A really long time. I use it forever and ever. It's going to get stained. So it looks kind of like really black, like you can see mine. Mine is really black, but it's still fine. You'll notice after you've had it for a really, really long time, it starts to feel a little bit different. It's like the, I don't know, it's like the material starts to break down or something. And that's when I know I really need to get a new one. But they last a long time. I've had that one for months, at least 6 months. So, and I stamp all the time. So it definitely lasts a long time. All right, so you already, if you have the card kit, this part is already done, but I want to just show you what I did to get this ready. So I'm starting with, I can get this in here. I have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I have my, I have a trusty little ruler here. I'm going to line this up and I'm going to make a little tick mark at 5.5. All right. So I'm just making a little tick mark at 5.5. And then I'm going to flip this around, like I'm going to rotate it because I'm going to make another little tick mark down here at the bottom, also at 5.5. Okay. But now it's hard to see. These tick marks are like diagonal from each other. Okay. So it's not like this, like straight, it's diagonal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer. And I'm going to line up those tick marks in the track, in the cutting track, which I know this is kind of hard to see in my picture here. That's why I did it for you ahead of time. So I'm lining those tick marks up in the cutting track. And then I have 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to actually set one of these aside for another card. All right, setting that aside for another card. And then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to score this on my scores. I'm going to score this at 3 inches and 6 3/4. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to actually flip this over. I'm going to score this at 3 inches, 3 inches, and then 6 3/4. So there we go. And now we're going to fold this. And again, if you have the card kit, this is already done for you, so I could fit it in the envelope. But I just folded this so it makes this little, I don't know, a Z, like that. All right. So much fun. All right. Now is where if you're going to have to start doing some work. That was already done in the card kits, but now we're going to grab some of this designer series paper. So I want to grab the piece that looks like this. Okay, I want this one. And I want this one with the flowers. And then I want, where is it? Oh no, I hope this works. Where'd it go? Oh, this one right here. It's right in front of me. All right. So here we go. We want this one that's pretty peacock. We want the one with all the flowers. And then we want the one with like a row of flowers. All right. We're going to grab the one with the row of flowers first. We are going to cut this 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we're going to cut it first this way, 2 3/4. Okay. So it's going this way, 2 3/4. And then I want to cut it 3 1/2. And again, I think I'm going to cut off both ends. Start cutting. Yeah. Cut like that. So I just cut about 3/4 off one end. And then this is going to be at 3 1/2. So we'll cut the rest off there. So we kind of want it to look like that. All right. So 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And you have these measurements in your tutorial as well. So, and then I'm going to cut this one 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to start by cutting it this way, 3 1/2, because we're going to use this piece on the next card. Okay. So set that aside. Don't lose it. So 3 1/2 and then 4 1/4. There's that. And then the last piece, we are going to cut 4 by 5 1/4. All right. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4. And the center one is 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then the smallest one is 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And again, these are all in the tutorial. All those measurements are in the tutorial for you. In your little packet, you should also have a piece of basic white and a little piece of berry burst and a little circle. All right. Whew. Hopefully you are all to this point. Now, what I want to do, let me show you this. I am going to take this piece of designer series paper and I'm going to line it up. Okay, so that it is centered side to side. And then this top corner is up at the very top of the highest side and make sure it's straight. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. I'm holding that in place. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cut this. All right. So I just cut that. And now when we adhere it, we can move it down and it's going to fit in there perfectly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this one so I know where it is. We're going to do this again so you can see that again on multiple sides. So this one is going right here. Okay. So this will be on the front like that. All right. And then we're going to grab the center section. This is going to go here. Okay. So not on the inside, but here. So I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to line it up side to side, center it side to side. I'm going to line up this top corner with that top side. Okay. And then I'll flip it and I'm just going to trim. I'm going to trim at that angle. And this is just an easy way to get that angle. Okay, so we'll just trim that off. And then when we pull this down, it's going to be even on all sides. So we'll go ahead and adhere that. I hope this is making sense. So adhere that one in place. All right, so far we have that. Kind of fun. And we're going to do that on the inside here too. Okay, so this is the inside. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. Line it up side to side. Get it in there straight. Okay, get that top corner, match with that top edge. And then flip it over and cut. Trying to make sure I'm in camera so you can kind of see that. All right, and then we'll adhere this one down. All right. So hopefully everyone has that so far. And that's kind of the base for your card. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so much fun. This is like my favorite. So there we go. Isn't that cool? So cool. All right. So hopefully everybody is keeping up with that. I'm going to give you just a half second while I take a drink of my LaCroix. We're going to do the same thing with the white. So you have the white. We're going to open up this up to the inside. We're going to line it up again. So centering it side to side, lining up the top corner with the top edge. And then we'll flip it over and we'll cut. But we're going to do some stamping on this, so I'm not going to adhere it right away. There we go. But then there's our white piece that's going to go right there. Okay. So let's do a little bit of stamping, shall we? I'm going to take this little green circle, the little lemon lime twist circle. Kathleen, you love this? Great. I'm so glad. I'm going to take some lemon lime twist ink. I'm going to take this stamp that looks like distressed text. I'm just inking this up with lemon lime twist, and I'm just going to stamp it on that little circle just to kind of give something to it. And then on the inside, I'm going to stamp the inside. I'm going to grab some pretty peacock for the inside. So I got some pretty peacock. I'm going to grab the stamp that says, "You're a great friend," and stamp that on there. And then I'm going to grab this big leaf thing. And I'm just going to kind of stamp that down here in the corner. There we go. And you can do more if you want or less. This is just what I did. And we're going to go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. So there we go. Super cute. And then we're going to finish up the front. So this little circle is going to go on here. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this before I lose it, because that's what I do. It's pretty small. Just make sure you don't glue your card closed. And then we're going to do a little heat embossing. There we go. So you have this little piece of berry burst that I cut with the gorgeously made dies. The dimensions will not be posted on my blog, but the full tutorial for tonight's card class is available from my tutorial store, and that will have all of the dimensions for you. So, all right, so I have this little berry burst one. I'm going to grab my embossing supplies. I want to use my white embossing powder. I'm going to take my embossing buddy and just give this a shroop with my embossing buddy. And then I'm going to stamp that thank you again. So it's a good thing I cleaned it. I'm going to stamp the thank you with my Versamark. Stamp that, ink that up. Stamp that right on there. And then I'm going to dump my white embossing powder on there. So I'm going to pop this in here and dump some white embossing powder on there. Should have used my tweezers. All right, tap that off. Put my embossing powder back in the little tray. Hello, Jan in Australia. Welcome. I'm just going to take my embossing powder and put that back in here. I love this little tray. It's so handy, and I find it fits in my shelf where it's supposed to go, but it seems to be spending most of its time on my desk. But I kind of corral all of my embossing stuff right in it. All right, I'm going to grab my heat tool. I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to use my cross clamp tweezers. These are in that embossing additions kit as well that has the tray and the embossing buddy. So we're just pop this. There we go. Love the way that looks. Just love white embossing powder. I don't use it for a while, and then I remember it, and I'm like, oh, I need to use that. Hello, Nicole in Perth, Australia. We got all the Australians here tonight. All right, so I'm going to grab another piece of my silver threaded twine. Excuse me. And again, I just pull a strand out. I'm actually using the leftover that I cut off last time because I'm just tying another bow. I love the silver threaded twine. It's my favorite. I just think it's so easy to tie. It kind of has some, I don't know, it's got some wiriness to it. It wants to be tied and stayed the way that you tie it. All right, grabbing my mini glue dots again. Oh, I got some down here that weren't used. Let's use that. So we'll just pop that on. And then I'm just going to put this on that little circle, just like that. Then I'll grab my Stampin' Dimensionals again. Hopefully I can be a little tamer this time. And see, I want one all the way over here. I think I'm going to grab a mini because I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. All right, so this is going to pop over that little knot. That's going to be good. It's just going to go on just like that. I don't like to get dimensionals where the knot in my bow is because then it kind of sticks up even more. So there we go. Maybe I'll trim up these strings just a little bit. And there's our fun fold card. What do you think? Are you liking that fun fold? It's hard to fit in the camera, but I love the angle to it. I learned this from our Shannon West, our demonstrator. Oh, why can't I remember the title now? Anyway, she works for Stampin' Up. She shared this with me, and I just love it. Not like this card, but a different card using the same fun fold. And I think it's such a fun fold. Dana, you love it, and Peggy, you love it too. Oh, I'm so glad. I am so glad. All right, let's do a little cleanup because we're going to have to do some serious stamping on the next one. So, all right. The next card, ooh, look, I got some nice, pretty peacock right on my hand. Grab take some hand sanitizer to it. Didn't quite come out. Sometimes if you grab some hand sanitizer right away, it will get the ink right off. It didn't do it great, but it got a lot of that ink off. So, oh, good. I'm glad that you like that card. Bright and bold. Oh, yes, bright and bold. Very true. Fun fold cards are neat, and I like that one because it's actually a lot easier than it seems, right? All right. Clean all these things up. Yeah, not really difficult, but definitely wows. I agree. All right, so I realized just now, like just as we were starting this live, I realized I kind of messed up when I cut the pieces for the next one, but we're going to make it work. So what you should have done, what I did when I was making these, is that I grabbed this piece and I just cut off a 4-inch piece. So I already had that angle right on there, right? But I realized when I sent this to you, I sent you a square. I think it's 4x4. But that's okay. We're going to cut it at a little angle, and it's going to be fantastic. So you also have some white and some lemon lime twist and a lemon lime twist card base. The other thing that we need to do is we're going to grab the paper. Remember how we cut that piece off? We're going to use the rest of this. So this is going to be 2.5 by 4 inches. It should already be 2.5. We're just going to cut this at 4. There we go. And then we want to find the one that is lemon lime twist. So it's lemon lime twist on this side. It was this floral on this side. And we're just going to take this and just cut like a 1/4-inch strip. So just a teeny tiny strip. And that's what we're going to use. So now what I want to do is I want to cut this at an angle. The only thing I want to make sure of is that I don't go too far. So I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm just laying this on here with that designer series paper. And I'm just going to make a mark where that is so I know like not to go that far. And then I'm just going to cut from this corner at an angle and not go down further than where I made my little tick mark. So hopefully that makes sense. So I just laid that on there, kind of laid it on my card front a little bit and made a little tick mark. And then I just cut it at an angle. So, like I said, this would have been just this piece right here. Oh, look. Yep, see, I almost got that angle just right. So it would have just been this piece that I cut off from the first one. That's what I meant to do. So now I'm going to take this little piece of lemon lime twist designer series paper, and I'm just going to put some multi-purpose glue on it. And then I'm going to lay it almost to the edge, but I'm going to leave just a little bit of the pretty peacock showing. So it's showing just a little bit there. And kind of shoot that down, and then we'll just flip it over and trim the edges. So there we go. Super easy. So then I can take my card base and we're just going to start layering this up. I'm going to start by putting my designer series paper on the right side. I love these colors together. You guys, I'm just loving Lemon Lime Twist lately. Lemon Lime Twist is amazing. And this designer series paper is so gorgeous. If you have not heard already, designer series paper is going to be on sale in June. So all of the designer series paper, the regular designer series paper in the annual catalog is going to be on sale 15% off in June. So great deal. And they just told us today that there is going to be a starter kit promotion in June as well. So they're going to have an additional $30 in the starter kit that you can get free. So you can get $155 in product for only $99 in free shipping. It's going to be an amazing deal. All right. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you all have that kind of card base that we have going on, because now we're going to do some stamping. So I have this big, bold leaf here. And I'm looking to see if I have a Kleenex someplace. Oh, here we go. All right. Excuse me just 1 minute. My allergies are still acting up. So, all right. So I have this big, bold leaf. And I'm going to grab my Lost Lagoon ink. I'm going to ink this up with Lost Lagoon. And we're going to do some kissing. So I inked that up with Lost Lagoon. Now I'm going to take that text stamp and I'm going to ink that up with Pretty Peacock. And I'm just going to stamp that right on my leaf. Okay. Yes, Ida, you can get the tutorial without the card kit. So right now you can just get the tutorial for this. When the card classes are open for registration, you can also just purchase the tutorials without the card kit then too. So, yep. All right, I'm going to stamp this on my card front. And you can see that's just coming through a little bit. Those colors are really close together, so it's not going to show a lot, but it just kind of gives a little bit of texture to that. And then I'm going to grab this great big stripey stamp. I don't know what to call it. I'm calling it a stripey stamp. And I'm going to grab the Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to ink up the stripey stamp with Lemon Lime Twist. And I'm going to stamp it at least twice, maybe 3 times. So there we go. All right. And then we can grab the Pretty Peacock again. And I'm going to stamp hello on this. I'm going to find my hello. There it is. So I'm going to kind of stamp it over the darkest, just above the darkest Lemon Lime Twist stripey bit. Isn't that fun? Isn't the kissing? Yeah, that's a fun technique to do. So there we go. There's our stamping on this. Super easy. And I'm going to adhere this to that piece of Lemon Lime Twist that's in your card kit. So we'll pop this in. There we go. And then I'm going to grab another piece of the silver threaded twine. This is my last piece from this length that I cut. I always have this just laying on my desk now. And I'm just going to tie this around the front. Wipe my snotty nose. I hate allergies. Does anybody else have allergies? They are like the worst. They're the worst. I take allergy medicine. It doesn't really seem to help. I'm sure it does. It does help. Also makes me sleepy. because I have weird body chemistry that the non-drowsy cold medicine and allergy medicine makes me drowsy. So, all right. I'll leave these kind of long, but I'm going to trim them up just a little bit. And then we're going to put this on our card front with dimensionals. Super easy. If I can find my dimensionals. Get that out of the way. There we go. These colors, oh, I'm telling you, lemon lime twist. I'm all about the lemon lime twist. There we go. And we're going to add some sequins to this. If I can find, it has turned into chaos on my desk. Chaos. All right, I'm going to grab the pretty peacock sequins here. Again, you should have some of these in your card kit. I've been using a ton of these. So many. So there we go. There is our third class. You're allergic to trees and grass and weeds. I'm sure I am too. I'm allergic to everything. And it doesn't go away. Like, I'm just allergic all year round. But yeah. All right. So there is our third card. Isn't that fun? Oh, so pretty. I think this might be my favorite. I don't know. Tonight's cards, it's hard to choose. So I hope that you enjoyed tonight's cards as much as I did. I'm going to be back on Thursday. Thank you, Ida. I'm going to be back on Thursday. Oops. Let's grab the right ones. I'm going to be back on Thursday. We're going to be using the Hey Chuck stamp set this Thursday to make kind of some funny guy cards, I guess we'll call them. We're using the Hey Chuck on Thursday at 8 p.m. I hope you will join me then. And thank you all for coming tonight. Have a fabulous evening. I'll see y'all on Thursday.